Hello, Crystal Palace, and welcome to Upper Norwood Library Hub's Library Live Lunch. I always say it wrong. It's the library lunch. It's not the live lunch. It's because Eleanor, I think, says it's a live lunch, and it never is. How are you doing? This program is here to connect you to your local community, bring local businesses, charities, whatever we happen to be up to out there in the real life world while everyone's sat at home wondering what's going to happen. We're going to be here regardless. It's a live stream. It's a live stream. So if you want to leave a comment or question for our guest, please do so in the comments. I can't see who's online, so if you'd like me to shout out and say hello to you, you will also need to leave something in the comments because I will not see it otherwise. Amazing. Today we have back with us for the second time is Shaniqua Benjamin, who is running our Words Flow Festival at the weekend. Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, Galina. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am good. I have just noticed that I didn't change, you won't see this, but the host is not Ellen Rastel today. The host is me, Galina.Rin. I'm very sorry, I've left the wrong name up there. So, Shaniqua, we are talking about the festival that's happening this weekend, and this is your baby from start to finish, really. So, do you want to tell the folks what they're in for, basically?
Yeah, I'm really excited to bring this to Upper Norwood Library Hub. I think it's going to be beautiful. You're in for a wonderful, wonderful 3 evenings of poetry, spoken word, and conversation from beautiful poets ranging across the age ranges. Starting tomorrow, we've got beautiful Young Poet Showcase. I had to have the Young Poet Showcase because if you know me, you know my story, which hopefully you might know a bit of if you saw me in the previous library lunch. I have an organisation called Young People Insight, and I was doing a regular monthly poetry night for that. And it's all about young people making their voices heard through poetry. So I had to have a Young Poet Showcase. They're all 25 and under. You are looking forward to seeing the wonderful Jamal Hassan, who actually won a competition and performed at a Crystal Palace Festival, actually. So I was like, had to get him involved. Beautiful poet called Shante, who is a regular performer at my poetry night. And also, we have a Crystal Palace native in Sam Verity, which I'm excited about. There's someone from Crystal Palace performing at the festival, which I think is incredibly cool. And then from the next 2 days, everyone is going to be over 25, but it's going to be wonderful. You've got conversation and poetry on the Sunday with wonderful Joe Dugan, who does amazing stuff in Crystal Palace all the time, Miss Yankee, who is phenomenal, and Mr. Mark T. Thompson, who's going to be brilliant too. And I'm wrapping it up on Monday with pure performance. Performances by a wonderful poet called Michelle Taylor, the amazing, multi-talented poet, rapper, beatboxer, Paul Cree. And I will be doing a very special performance myself as well.
Oh, you don't have to get coy just because you're talking about yourself. That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great. So we basically just dropped this whole thing on your plate and said, go for it. How did you find organizing the festival up to this point?
It's been bits of it have been challenging. Like organizing any event is a challenge, different things, but it was nice to be able to bring poets together. I think it helped because there was some people already who kind of come to the library as well to perform, which was perfect. And then putting it out there, it was like, who wants to perform and get involved? And I think people were very excited about the chance to perform for something. And then there were certain people that I asked, I was like, they're going to be perfect for this. They're going to make sense for this. So it was great to do that. Coming up with a name was tough. Coming up with a name for anything is always hard. I hate coming up with names of things. It's like, is the name taken already? Will it sound too cheesy? Will it sound too obvious? And it's just, so that was tough for me. But once you kind of mentioned it, I was like, okay, I have ideas for this. And when it all started coming together, it became a lot easier. And I think it's going to be really, really, really amazing. So it's been ups and downs like any event planning is, but it's been busy in some ways, but as a whole, it's been fun to do.
Well, that's amazing. I'm just going to say hello to Alicia, who has joined us and says, whoa, that's incredible. Although I'm not sure of which sentence it was that she said that to, but it's all incredible, so it's fine. If you have a question or comment for us, please drop it in the old chat there and we will get it read out. It's cool. So from someone who's not from a spoken word or poetry background, what are people going to expect? What should they expect? Like, let me rephrase that. What would you say for someone who isn't into poetry or spoken word, and how would you sell this show to them, basically?
expect fire. Fire emojis, I always say, like, it's going to be, if you don't know fire, fire's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. Expect really, really powerful, poignant, amazing words that are very much likely going to touch on certain things happening in this time. Expect things coming from the heart. Expect emotion, expect realness, expect honesty, expect rawness, really, and just expect a wonderful show of creativity through the power of words, which is the most amazing things. Like, come to feel it, come to learn, come to listen, come to engage, and come to see people bearing their hearts and their vulnerability and their souls basically on stage.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there much difference in the context of the poetry between the generations, or are you fine? Like, that's a question. Is there difference in context between the generations of spoken word artists?
I think to an extent, I mean, you see kind of differences each time. You can see differences in kind of flow. You see differences in kind of, at times, I think writing. I think as I've seen people who are older perform and younger perform, you see with often people who are older, they've been there for a long time, you see there's often a much stronger kind of confidence and really knowing what their words are about, knowing how they perform. And with younger people, some really know, but they're also still finding out. You can get variations. You may see differences in references. That's always a big thing for me, is references that I look at that I may never have known before. And there's more current things maybe now, but it depends if you do research. I think as well, when I look at a lot of younger poets now, it's the style seems to be still very metaphorical and a lot of depth to them. But I feel like when I read them, I often can understand a greater sense of where they're coming from, and I can relate a lot more to certain experiences, because there's certain things that they may say that, yeah, I may use or I may do. And sometimes with the older ones, I have to look it up on my phone, which is not a bad thing either. So I think it's differences in that respect. But I think poetry is, I guess, poetry. And I guess the difference is not exactly generational in some ways. I think it's more personal. Every single person is going to be different, which I should hope they should be, because it is a personal thing. So generational, some things, but I definitely think it's like more personal difference than exactly a generational difference.
Wow, that's cool. I understand because I know Joe Duggan. He's from my background. You see that you have multiple cultural folk in here. So Joe is obviously one from Northern Ireland, but he's kind of the generation of above me. But everything that he says really resonates to my bringing upbringing. So, if that's the first one, what are the other cultures, different cultures that are represented in this weekend's festival?
It's really one. I don't know everyone's culture. I know Miss Yankee is British Ghanaian, which is really, really wonderful. I know Marty has a Caribbean background. So does Shantae. I'm not sure where Sam or Variety or Jamal's is either. They hopefully tell you. Maybe you can touch on that. But I know it's a variety. And Michelle Taylor is a Trinidadian poet as well, which is great. So I really wanted to get a variety of cultures and ages, abilities, as much as I can. I really wanted to. I love variety. I love having variety and real diversity, and everyone kind of different. You get different flavors and references and styles and things like that.
Yeah. I imagine it's going to be really worth the it will be worth the TV license, the one you don't pay for, to watch this because it's a live stream. Yeah, yeah. So we've got 3 days. We've got not kids. It's not kids, is it? It's not. It's youth. It's the youth. And you said that one of them was on Crystal Palace Festival. Was that this year? Was he on the festival this year?
Yeah, this year. So they had a competition for young poets, which was judged by amazing Zena Edwards, Joe Dugan as well, and Broken Pen. And Jamal Hassan won that because I remember talking to Noreen about it and, about this competition. So I was thinking, who actually won this? I don't even know. So I checked out. I was like, oh my goodness, Jamal won this. I know him. So I was like, we have to get him on this. So I contacted him and got him on this, which is amazing. So he's a great poet. He's hilarious. His style is so unique and different. And I was like, he's going to bring a great flavor to this, which is exactly what I wanted.
That's cool. And then on the second day, just talking a little bit more about who else have you got on the second day?
So of course Joe Dugan, which will be great. I love his poetry; it's beautiful. Miss Yankee, she's amazing fire poet. She's got this huge energy about her and touches on so many emotional, powerful subjects, often with mental health. She's just brilliant. And I've only had the pleasure of seeing Mark T perform once, but when he did, it was a huge impact. He's so animated and again touches on some great subjects. It's really powerful. Most poets are very political in different ways. When I say political, I don't mean, the talking about the people in parliament, like everyday politics. And these three I know on this day are going to bring some amazing content. I can't wait to have the conversation with them afterwards, because I know they're going to bring some great gems, some great tips, and just really brilliant things to say about poetry, which I think is so key, so that people can hear about poetry as well, learn what it can do for you, what it can do in the world, and realize that you can actually write it, perform it, share it if you want to, and it's not as hard and as daunting as you think.
So you said that you were going to have a Q&A session for this Sunday. Are you going to do the same on Friday?
So Sunday we'll have the Q&A with just like all three of them together. Saturday I want to talk to each of the young poets afterwards, not like a full kind of panel work with the others, but just like one-on-one, us having a little conversation, getting a bit of insight from them. I think it's really important to hear from young poets and hear about their style, or hear about why they write, or why poetry is so important and why it shouldn't be taken from schools and all these things. I really want to hear from them, because poetry's having this moment, particularly with young people. I think it's key to hear what their thoughts and these things going on are.
Yeah. So it's amazing that we get to talk. You'll be talking to everybody. But on the Sunday, if you have this panel, is this a time for people to get involved as well with questions or comments and things like that? I mean, I'm asking, is this going to be a two-way conversation? I should point out this is kind of also a production meeting that we're having live on live stream right now, because I will be running this show. So, So will it be a position for two-way conversation from the audience as well?
If the audience want to ask some questions, actually, it'd be really great to hear from them what they want to say. So, audience, if you want to ask some questions, Sunday is the time. It really is the time. Saturday it won't be, because I'll just be chatting one-to-one with the poets, because that one is less time. But Sunday has a bit more time for that. So Sunday is the time. If you want to ask some questions or some poetry stuff, talk to the poets, this is the time.
Oh, amazing. So the tickets for this event are a $5 if you want to watch it from in the venue itself. Now, we appreciate that there's lots of stuff changing about the guidelines. Our venue is risk assessed, and each event is risk assessed, and then we separate out all the space in the room. So the tickets will stop being on sale probably early morning tomorrow morning, and then we won't allow any more people in. And you can't rock up. You can't just rock up. It doesn't work like that, because once that room's set for that number, it's set for the night. So you can watch it in the room with our Daniel on the bar there for £5, or you can watch for free on the live stream, which would be nice. Have you done much live streaming of this type yet?
No, I've just done a lot of kind of Zoom performances and conversations. So this is going to be the first thing, is the live stream. So I'm looking forward to see how that works, because this is new. This is all new for me. So I'm excited.
Amazing. Hi, I'm very interested on a personal level. How have you found the Zoom parties, I guess is what they're called? How did you find those and the ones you've done so far?
You know what? I've been on like one where it's like conversation, like a friend at a Zoom party, which was kind of cool, but really weird, because it's just like you have to wait to talk to certain people, because you can't just talk to like everyone. But then we had another Zoom party afterwards, which was like music. I went on for a bit because she was like, yeah, she's going on this. I was like, let me see it. And I left quickly. I just can't deal with just music in the room and watching people dancing. Like, I want to be in the atmosphere dancing. I think that's the one thing that just does not work for me. I need the atmosphere. Without that, I like to talk to people and touch them and connect with them. It just doesn't feel right to me. So it hasn't been my thing. So actually, I'm looking forward to doing this in person, to be honest.
Even though we're in person, we did a show last week, the lockdown, Crystal Palace Lockdown Live, and it was nice. It had, like, having people cheer is probably the thing that probably makes the biggest difference. Just like, now everybody clap. It's nice. It's nice. It's nice. And having any kind of rapport where people come back and you get that instant feeling, even though, like, I imagine there's only going to be a maximum of 10 to 15 people in our room. And let's be honest, this room can hold 230 people odd. So there'll be about 15 probably maximum in this room over the days. So yeah, I think it'll be a very nice show. I think it'll be certainly interesting. Yeah.
Me too.
And do you have anything else you'd like to add on this before I go into my outros?
I would just say, everyone, if who's tuning in, share the links, like share the Facebook event page or ticket page. If you want to come down and feel the ambience, please do. It will be really lovely. And so tune in, share it, and it's really calm and ready to enjoy. And it's going to be wonderful. So don't be afraid of poetry, please. It's going to be really great, and support this amazing, amazing, wonderful talent, because they are really beautiful people, really beautiful performers, and they will appreciate you tuning in. So do it. Trust me. You will not regret it. You really won't regret it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I love doing live events, but I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, do I want to leave my house? I'm kind of got used to doing so much work on my desk. And it's when I have had to go out to shows, I'm like, oh, I'm just being lazy. But when you get there and there's all the lights are in and the stage is in and all the stuff is all set up, it becomes a really nice space. Have you seen any other live? Have you been out to any other live performances recently?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think the last thing I watched live online, no, I didn't watch anything. I don't remember. I can't. My head doesn't work properly anymore. I can't even remember. I really can't.
That's cool. So after the weekend, I hope to be roping you into doing another one for us. Maybe make it a yearly thing. Why not? Start it as an annual thing. We'll start it yearly, and then a couple of months down the line, you'll want to do another one. I'm sure it'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be fine. So I'm just going to finish off with the rest of our outro. I'm just going to talk about all the stuff we normally talk about at this time of day. So if you want to hear about all the stuff the library does from start to finish, you can go over to the website. You can even join the mailing list. Our venue manager, Chris Neath, has spent all his time before he was furloughed, setting up a new website, and he's very keen for people to join the mailing list because I think we've got a ghostwriter. That's not right. A volunteer copywriter doing some work for us on our mailing list. So it will hopefully have a lot of good things will be turning up in there. So that's over on uppernorwoodlibraryhub.org, and the description, the link for that is in the chat and it's in the description. So next week on the show, we are completely booked, which is unusual. It has to be said, unusual fact that has happened. We are completely booked for guests, most of which I think are West End musical singers and performers who are coming on the show to tell us about what's been going on with them. Which will be nice. And then All Alone Together project that Eleanor runs, it's coming to the end. So if you want to be interviewed for our podcast, which should be live sometime next week, early next week, I'm hoping. I'm working very hard to get this done and edited for you. She is interviewing the local people, and if you want to be interviewed by Eleanor for the podcast, all you need to do is fill out the questionnaire on our website and under All Alone Together. It's in the description and it's also in the chat should you wish to have it. If you have tech issues, as always, Clear Community Web is online and here to help anybody who needs it get on Zoom, use online shopping, understand online banking, all this kind of stuff. Our man Casper is the dove from above who will come and help you out wherever you need. And then our last little thing there to say is that we're still collecting money, always with the collecting money. We are a charity after all, and we want to keep the lights on and the doors open for as long as possible. At the moment, our doors are somewhat open, is the only way I can describe it. We're open Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday between 11 and 4 p.m. Not 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., but it is by appointment only. So you need to contact Lambeth Libraries, and if you just Google Lambeth Libraries Crystal Palace or Upper Norwood Library, it will give you the contact for that. I should have done it on this. I'm sorry, I should have done it. I'm not prepared, but that's what Google's for. The great Google in the sky, googly. Well, I never thought I'd do that as a live. I'd say those syllables are live. That's terrible. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us today, Shaniqua. That is pronounced. Is it Shaniqua? It is Shaniqua, right?
Yeah, perfect.
I get scared anytime I try to do anything complicated while I'm live streaming, and I just fumble it. I fumble it. It's a good job I don't work on live TV, quite frankly. But thank you very much for joining us. It has been
Thank you for
lovely,
having me.
and you will be able to catch all this poetry shenanigans from 7:30 to 8:30 every night from Saturday to Monday on our live stream channel. So I do hope that you will all come and join us, because we've worked quite hard to bring such a nice thing to you, and I hope you all come and enjoy it. Alrighty, well, see you all on Monday. Have a nice weekend, everybody.